Hello, I'm Cat, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to avoid FPS drops in Minecraft for Xbox and Minecraft for PlayStation. FPS drops are a phenomenon also known as single-player lag, and they're known as this because it's kind of like the effect of when you have a bad connection in multiplayer, but you can even get it in single-player even when you're disconnected from the internet, and that's why it's called that. And I figured I'd teach you how to avoid it, because it's very annoying when it does happen, and since if you have other people in your world, it can happen for them too, and you can have both single-player lag and multiplayer lag, and that's not a fun experience anyone really wants. So please do like the video if you do like it. It helps out the channel a lot, and let us know you do like it. And let's start by explaining the most simple of terms, which is FPS. So if you're a gamer, you probably know this term already, but if you don't, it basically stands for frames per second, and it's the number of individual images that make up the, the thing you're watching. So a movie, to feel like it's not a series of images, runs at 24 separate frames per second. For a game, it usually has to be higher because you're interacting with it, and the accepted, frame rate is anywhere from 30 to 60. So Minecraft Xbox and Minecraft PlayStation, regardless what platform you're running on, will run at 60 FPS 99.9% of the time. This means it feels smooth, you can jump around, it just feels like you're playing the game, which is always cool and stuff. However, because games, when you do something different, it obviously causes a different amount of stress to the GPU. It's rendering in real time, which means sometimes you get frame rate drops when something really intensive happens. An example of this, I'll just show you an FPS drop. When I run towards the wall of lag, you can see when I'm running around here, it's just me running around normal. So even if you're not watching 60 FPS, I'll slow this down, but in 60 FPS, you'll be able to see this very clearly. I run towards the wall of lag, and then look how much slower I go. It's just crazy how slow this stuff happens. Very, very crazy. So I'll do this one more time, and I'll slow it down this time. Here's me, here's me sprinting normally, and here's me sprinting towards the wall of lag. As you can see, the frame rate is just crazy low. You can see all this stuff, and that is, a serious thing that happens with 60 FPS stuff. So, what causes the wall of lag to be the wall of lag? How is that a thing that happens? And also, how can you avoid this stuff? So, the thing that will actually cause the wall of lag is, it's a number of different things in Minecraft, basically, that cause GPU stress. Like I mentioned, 99% of the time, you won't run into this stuff, but if you try to really stress the game, you can cause these issues. And also, just as a fun little fact, because the inventory is actually tied to the frame rate. Basically, it means that when I'm staring this way, look how fast I can scroll left and right. This is me going as fast as I can. And if I'm looking at the wall of lag, this is how fast I can go left and right. This is me going as fast as I humanly can. I'm not slowing myself down. It just goes to show this is how much slower your frame rate is running when you're looking this way than when you're looking this way. So, fun little fact you might not have known before. But yeah, let's teach you how to avoid this then, because there are a few specific things that cause FPS lag way more than anything else, and the number one really is item frames. Item frames are a weird piece of PC code that, it causes issues on PC so much as well, and honestly, I think when it first came out, if you had more than 14 in a world, the entire console just crashed. So yeah, for some reason, these cause a big rendering issue, and because of that, when you're not looking at them, they despawn, which is why even if I'm looking over there, I get, this smooth 60, and then I look back over here, it's straight back down to 20 or 30, and that's kind of a really interesting thing. Basically, item frames don't have too many in the same place. It's fine to have 5, maybe 10 in the same place, but anything more than that, let's say 20 plus, you start to risk the FPS thing, because the really strange thing about them is if you're just staring in their direction, even if you're behind another object, you still get this weird kind of thing. So this is a really, really laggy spot to look at. Even though I can't see any item frames, that's because they're still rendering. So make sure you keep the item frames kind of spread out if you need to have lots of them. Don't, one thing that comes in pretty seriously, and this is something I noticed in the Survival Madness world, is because chests also cause some amount of lag. You actually notice that like item frames, chests will actually de-render after a while. Let me actually just quickly show this one. So if I'm over here, let me just fly a little bit more. You can see the chests and the item frames both disappear, even though they're clearly still there. This is because, of the lag they cause. So yeah, chests cause some FPS drops, and so do item frames. And combining the two together, because it's a really cool idea, I think anyway, to put item frames on your chest. And I can't put any more down there because I've reached the max. But that's a message I haven't actually seen for a very long time. It's one you might not know about. But there is a max number of item frames. It's somewhere in the 200s. But if you put your item frame on your chest, so we just break a couple just so we can put one on the chest over here. Okay, there we go. Look how slow it goes and just crazy everything goes. But yeah, let's just put some item frames on the chest. It's really cool to put an item frame on a chest and put an item in there. Oh, if you can actually not mess up, that is. Oh, whoa, crazy, crazy stuff happening. But yeah, there we go. Put the water bucket in there. It's really cool to do this to signify this is the chest of water buckets, but, the downside is you cause serious FPS drops if you do it for so many chests in a row. So, yeah, having a chest room is fine, but if you have chests and item frames, you're going to cause the game to feel like instead of do. So, yeah, hopefully that's a thing. But there's also a few other methods you can avoid, because item frames are the big one, but there's also, and there's chests, but there's also having moving liquids. So if you rapidly have liquids always moving around the place, this is going to be a thing. So liquids don't cause too much lag when they're actually persistent. They do cause a little bit, but the big one is when, you know, they first calculate where they're going, because this takes some calculations away from the GPU, which obviously causes the thing. So if you have lava or water, which is constantly, you know, recreating and uncreating. So for instance, when I first pour the, you know, the water from the top of the sugarcane farm, it causes some serious stuff. So even though it looks really cool when you see stuff like this, it doesn't help with the FPS thing at all, which the game is just running so slow right now. But yeah, so yeah, make sure you avoid, oh, and I fell out of it because I suddenly started going fast. But yeah, make sure you avoid having too much water or like any liquid of any form going at the same time, because this will cause some serious issues. So yeah, as cool as that looks, has that just frozen? Yeah, the water's frozen. So yeah, that just goes to show you have too much of it and you end up with floating water. And how is that? Whatever. that proves my point, I guess. But yeah, if you have flowing water too much or flowing lava, it does start to tank it. And then, again, if you combine it with the wall of lag, you get serious lag. And finally, the last one. This one is something they're always improving. But basically, because of the way they improve the height limit, it's kind of like two separate walls around each other. If you build lots around the height limit, so Y128, then because of the way it renders it in, that when you first load in those chunks, it will cause some issues. So that's something you've got to watch out for. Make sure that you keep your eyes out on that. So yeah, this is a weird glitch I only encountered this time. I tested this before and this didn't happen. If you want to cause this, I guess, make sure you have the wall of lag. So yeah, I hope today I taught you how to avoid FPS drops, or what they are. I hope you learned something about something today. Maybe you even learned how to make water flow. That's so cool and so confusing. And also, if you just want to confuse your friends, if they're really important about their frame rate, I guess do this. And if you want to help your friends and they're like, the world hurts, then make sure you do this. Also, if you want a simple test, if you don't know, if you like care about FPS drops, but you don't know how to measure it, if you don't like feel it yourself, basically, you know, when you're staring at it, you can see this slows down because for some reason, the inventory slider is tied to the frame rate. So even if you can't notice the speed, you can definitely notice it when it's hit. Either way, I hope you did enjoy the video. Like it if you did like it, share it if you really like it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this every single day on my channel. And one quick note, actually. Minecraft will never actually drop from 60 FPS or down to 59 FPS because it uses Vsync. This is something that allows it to stay at 60 a lot more stably, but it means that when it drops below 60, it doesn't drop from 60 to 59, it drops straight from 60 to 30. So, yeah, you'll always be at 30 or 60. Don't ever worry like, oh no, I'm at 59 FPS, because I hear people do that every now and then. In the console versions of Minecraft, you cannot get 59 FPS. It goes straight down to 30, then 20, then 15, I think. Anyway, there, just a quick little tip at the end of the video. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you did enjoy it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.